Hello,
Hello, everyone.
everybody. Welcome to our first, well, the second time we're previewing spring football. Last year was the XFL 3.0, and now we're going to be talking about the UFL, which is the merge of the USFL and XFL. They've merged into one league for spring football. This should be, without a doubt, I think the best showcasing spring football has had in a very, very long time. I can't preview this alone. Joining me, we have. Very long. Can't preview this alone. Joining me, we have.
Oh, I am Nick Man. Beer Snake, go Burr. I am Nick Man.
I am Bears fan. The God. At least I'm not going after the fucking Brahmas.
I am Zasniel, entrepreneur, billionaire, playboy, and a White Sox masochist.
Alza right there was actually playing 500 Lies and a Truth. Hopefully you can spot the truth.
Definitely. I think I know
Yeah,
what the truth
definitely.
is. I definitely know what the truth is.
Aiden. I live in the Bay Area, Rough Country. That's right.
All right, now before we get
But you're a Niners
into
fan.
our season previews, we're going to be starting off the 2024
The Niners
sickos.
are NFL. We're doing spring football now. Let the Niners rest for now.
We're going to do pick'ems for the 2024 season of football, which was going to eclipse the UFL, the CFL, any AP Top 25 versus AP Top 25 matches in the college football ranks, and our standard NFL 5 games. Now, last year in season 1, Nick Man, congratulations on winning. I will send you money. It's probably going to come in like May or June.
Yeah, that's good. That's fine.
Wait, money? You're gonna send Nick money?
Yeah, winner gets $50.
Yes.
This was not in the contract.
I was not aware of this.
I
Hey,
said.
Nick, man, if that money you can save up the 5 Golden Knights, you can save up the 5 Golden Knights those fees, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, very well could.
Indeed. All right, so now with 6 of us, we're going to quickly do the pick'ems, and then I have a wheel. I'm going to spin it. Whatever team it lands on, whoever's assigned to the team is going to talk about and give us insight on their team for the upcoming UFL season. We'll also be doing watch-alongs for all Sunday games of the UFL this year. We'll be doing a watch-along for Sunday. It starts at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. for those on the East Coast. We'll be starting there for Game 1. Game 2, I believe, is noon Pacific, 3 on the East Coast. So those are the times that we're going to be live for. Early in the morning for us West Coasters, but should give us time in the evening to not spend time with family.
Also, real quick, because I feel like this needs to be said. Spencer will not be joining us today. He is on the injury report. He has sprained his cerebrum.
He sprained his ability to bug you about Marbies.
Shut up. Also, I do feel like we should announce this. We did have a Sickos executive meeting, and
we don't not yet. We can not yet. I will talk more about plans to evolve. I think after the draft, because I think that's when things are going to be slowing down quite a bit. But in the meantime, we got our pick'ems for the UFL. First game, 10 p.m. 10 a.m. on the West Coast, 1 p.m. on the East Coast. Birmingham Stallions, the winners, back-to-back champions of the USFL, and the Arlington Renegades, champions of XFL 3.0. I am going to take Arlington because I'll say why later, but I'm going to go with Arlington. Tegan, who are you taking?
Whoa.
Who are you taking, Tegan? Birmingham or Arlington?
I'm going to be taking Arlington, mostly just because I'm trusting in the power of our Lord and Savior, Hank Hill.
All right, Nick, who are you taking, Arlington or Birmingham?
Arlington.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Aiden, who are we taking, Birmingham or Arlington?
Okay, I'm gonna go against the grain. Just, Arlington did win last year. However, it was quite certain that they overachieved. And while the XFL was a higher quality of play than the USFL, I think Birmingham might pull off the upset.
Oh, thank God we didn't all curse Arlington. There's a reason why I'm taking Arlington this week. I wouldn't if in normal circumstances, but in this circumstance, I have to take Arlington. Azza, who are you taking, Birmingham or Arlington?
I am taking Birmingham. I still think they got good core players here. Let's not lie. Arlington wouldn't even be here if they didn't fluke their way to winning the championship. Like, they would not be here.
All right.
They wouldn't even exist. I'm sorry. That's my take.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. They did fluke themselves into a championship. All right, we got Battlehawks versus Michigan Panthers. I will be taking the Battlehawks. Because the law. Tegan.
I'll take the Battlehawks to make sure I don't die.
Yes! Nick.
Yeah, I'm going Battlehawks as well. It would feel very wrong if the UFL season starts and the Battlehawks are 0-1.
Very wrong. Aiden.
Just gonna say 4 words. Law is the law. Let's go, Battlehawks.
And Azza.
Battlehawks every day.
Oh God, we've cursed the Battlehawks.
Battlehawks every day.
Oh, look on the bright side, Hagen. Spencer, you won't be the only guy Spencer's gonna want to kill after this.
We all took the Battlehawks.
we have ruined Spencer's evening. For those who don't know, Spencer will be at the Battlehawks game, and that is why he is not here today.
Mm-hmm.
Besides the sprained cerebrum. Oh God.
Okay. DC San Antonio. DC. I'm taking DC. Tegan.
DC.
Nick.
It's gonna be close, but I'm gonna go DC.
Aiden.
Deer Snake for the win, baby. DC.
Azza.
I think I'm going with San Antonio. Yeah, I would usually go DC, but I think San Antonio has a wild card up their sleeve here this season.
And then we got Memphis and the Roughnecks. I'm going Memphis. Tegan.
Showboat, baby.
Nick.
I'll go Showboats. Why not?
Aiden.
Okay. I'm gonna have to be a complete homer in here to go Houston.
Very fair. And Azza.
Yikes! This is I don't like the showboats. Like dead ass. Yeah. No showboats. Go with the other team.
Show,
Quit hating on my team, dog.
damn, hating
Huh?
on this team.
Quit hating on my team, dog.
Shit.
Just because
I like
you
how
lost?
me,
Bullshit.
Tegan, and Nick have the same picks.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so those are the pick'ems. We're gonna spin the wheel. All right, Arlington Renegades are up first. Wow.
Renegade.
The Arlington Renegades, without a doubt, a team that fluked themselves into a championship, finished 4-6 in the regular season last year, on the backs of a quality quarterback play of Kyle Sloter and Drew Plitz. Oh boy, if you watched these two last year, it was some of the worst football I have ever seen. Period. Until they managed to trade for Luis Perez, the guy, and he was the guy that actually really turned their season around. Without Luis Perez, I don't think they would have made the playoffs, let alone would have done anything, would have made a far run into it, let alone win it. The fact that they upset the DC Defenders made me shit my pants. We saw that game. That was absolutely insane. And they win the championships on top of that. So, oh yeah, they did North and South, right? They beat the Defenders in the finals, and they played the Roughnecks. They beat Wade Phillips. Very notable offensive coordinator in the NFL ranks. So, we are now here in the UFL. Luis Perez does return as the man under center. He is confirmed to start, also with former top 10 pick Vic Beasley anchoring the linebacker core. They also managed to have an interesting they have an interesting tight end in Sal Cornelia, one of the top tight ends from last year. That's going to be a big weapon. It's going to be, can this receiving core really step up? Also, they have Clayton Van Der Esch's brother, Caleb Van Der Esch. He is joining this receiving room. Now, it's going to be a lot on how really Bob Stoops can really utilize his quarterbacks. I really felt that there has to be some form of talent for the man under center in order to be used, to really use the guy. Drew Plitt and Kyle Sloter, they both kind of had the same skill ceiling. He really couldn't, really level them up, and I think that's going to be the key to this year is Luis Perez, enough to really guide this team for 10 games. He, fun fact, has still yet to start a full 10 games in spring football. He's yet to play 10 full football games. He was not the main starter for the Generals in the first season of the USFL. He was on and off for the Vipers last year, until the Vipers decided to finally move on from him because they were just a terribly coached team. And the XFL 2.0 didn't finish, and the AAF didn't finish either. So can Luis Perez, he's yet to play a full season, can he finally finish his first season in the NFL? They have veteran punter and Marquez King. So they'll have a reliable punt man, and Juwan Mingo, really good return man on top of that. And will Bob Stupid be Bob Smart again? Or will he be Bob Stupid? Arlington has a lot to play for. I think defensively they are a really sound team. It is, what is the offense going to look like? And it seems the big trend for the XFL last year was really good. There were teams that offenses worked really good. Seattle had a great offense. DC had a good offense. And then there's a lot of teams that, like, even St. Louis, they had a good offense, but it felt like you could shut them down easily with a good defense. And everybody else was just, it was hard to watch at times. And Arlington was certainly one of those teams. Can they turn around? Can they look good? We'll see. We shall see. Definitely not a team to underestimate, for sure. And also, not definitely a team that you shouldn't really underestimate, for sure. And this should be a fun team to watch come down the line, and we'll see what happens. It is, especially since this is a merged league, we're going to see can they stand up to Birmingham, who they're going to be playing for the first game tomorrow at 10. So we'll see what happens. But this is a game that's going to be a big game to watch tomorrow. So that's Arlington. Spin the wheel. Taking you up with the showboats.
Oh, showboats. You know, I originally picked this team because it was one of the last teams left. But, you know, since picking this team, I felt a real resignation with the Memphis Showboats. You know, something feels special about this team, you know? They may not have, like, the most flashiest of players, and, you know, but ultimately, at the end of the day, I feel like this team, it has something. It has that passion. It has that strength. It has that feeling with it, you know? I can't really say that about the other teams as well. You know, you have Case mother effing Cookus. Case Cookus of, you know, Raider fame. Like, that's all you need to know. Like, genuinely. But I will go on. Obviously, I think they have a very solid defense going on. You know, TJ Green, Delrick Abrams, Dylan Famatu. Sorry if I butcher some of these names. Quentin Meeks, Christian McFarland, you know? Like, they got some guys on here. They got some nice guys. And then going straight to the offensive line, you know, might not be the greatest, but, you know, you have Case Cookus to help them out. I think their main issue is, you know, just continuing to trend into a better direction. Because, you know, they had I mean, I wouldn't say last year was, like, amazing or anything, but they didn't have, like, a bad season, you know? They were just kind of all right. I don't really know much more else to really say about them other than I think they're going to surprise a couple of teams. And, you know, don't count out the USFL teams. I feel a lot of people are going to want to count them out because, you know, the USFL. But, like, I mean, they'll be fine. They went 5-5 last year, and the best thing that you can do is improve off that record. If they can get to 6 wins this season, that'll be good enough to probably make the playoffs with how the division really is. Because I personally am not a huge fan of some of the XFL teams that were necessarily brought in. Looking at the 2 nepotism teams brought in, hint, hint, Dwayne, hint, hint. But, you know, I think this team has a lot of potential.
I'm looking there, just quickly scrolling through it. Important note, Josh Love was the starting quarterback for Michigan last year. He did okay. $1 million question for Case Cookus is he has to adapt to a new offensive system.
It's Case Cookus, man. I
He will
get
cook
mean
under-
and everything, but like I think he'll do good.
Oh yeah, he did good for the USFL last year, but they also have Josh Love, who I wouldn't be surprised if they would go to if things don't go great. But yeah, Memphis. No longer being coached by Todd Haley, too. Spinning the wheel! We have Birmingham. All right. The Birmingham Stallions, in the most greatest plot twist of all time, will not be starting Jamar Smith. Jamar Smith will not be starting tomorrow. He's listed currently on the depth chart as the third quarterback. Adrian Martinez is the backup. Matt Corral will be starting tomorrow. That's why
Wait, Matt Corral?
Matt Corral will be
Matt
starting tomorrow.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
It is not Jamar Smith, who is coming off of season-ending injury of last year. They currently have him, surprisingly, as the third-string quarterback. The guy that was the number one guy, well, it was Alex Magoo and Jamar Smith, but it was mostly Jamar Smith. Jamar Smith had a season-ending injury in the first game that led to Alex Magoo starting the full season. He is currently on the Green Bay Packers roster, and he's likely not going to help them out anytime soon. This is a more notable roster. Matt Corral, we all know, a quarterback from the North Carolina Tar Heels, drafted by the Panthers, really never got a chance to show his stuff. He was injured, didn't really bring him back. Didn't get to see a whole lot of him at the NFL level. So coming to the UFL for him is going to be very, very interesting because he's going to be one of those quarterbacks here that is fighting for a chance to graduate and become a low-tier backup or the third-string quarterback on most NFL rosters. He's going to be showcasing his stuff this year, and he's joined by a really good receiving core. Amari Rogers joins the receiving core, and also on the defensive side, Scooby Wright returns to anchor the linebacking position. This is going to be a good team. Skip Holtz has, in the 2 seasons of the USFL, the Birmingham Stallions have clearly been the best team in both seasons. Last year was the Birmingham Stallions on their own pedestal, and then it was literally everybody else at the bottom. This is a team that he knows how to elevate his players. He knows how to elevate his roster. I think potentially with Matt Corral being on this team, they have probably could be the best quarterback in the USFL. I think this is especially a guy that's looking to graduate and get back into the NFL. And most importantly, and everybody else, lots of veterans presence on this team. This is going to be a good team. Do I trust Matt Corral yet, or do they go back to Jamar Smith? So we'll see. We'll see with this one. We should do a lot more to trust Skip Holtz, but I want to see it before I believe it. But Birmingham's going to be a really good team to watch this year. Outside of that, most of the players are still there, didn't do anything too spectacular. The really good ones, they've graduated and been on NFL rosters. And this tends to be the team that really puts guys back into the NFL. So even though this could be a loss, this might be the first loss for Birmingham, but I wouldn't be surprised if Birmingham makes the finals again. It wouldn't surprise me one bit. But don't underestimate Birmingham. Except this week. I'm going to underestimate them this week. But don't underestimate this team.
It's alright. There could be growing pains.
There could be some
Season
growing pains
content.
because this is going to be their third different quarterback under center. And Skip Holtz is really good at getting a lot of usage out of his players. Like, he's really good at it. But is it going to be enough? Can they get enough usage out of all of his full roster? And more importantly, again, this is a roster that you would usually graduate players into the NFL. So it's going to be tough for them. Also, Taco Charlton. He is listed as a backup pass rusher, so he'll be definitely in the... Yeah, Taco Charlton's here too. He'll be in the pass rushing group. So yeah, that is the Birmingham Stallions. Certainly a team... Certainly I think we'll be winning the UFL division. USFL division, for sure. Nick, you're up with the Defenders.
Yep. It is beer snake time for the DC Defenders, who are coming off, I would describe as a great 2023 season, even though they didn't, win the title, ended up losing to Arlington, which very unfortunate for the beer snake enjoyers. However, at the same time, there is still, for the most part, DC should still be a good team this year. However, there is definitely some concerns here. Now, first off, you have Jordan Tayamu back as your starting quarterback. He will be the starter. Did well for them last year. Not a surprise. But if in terms of why I think DC, there is some questions that need to be answered in terms of how this season goes for them, is you might notice something when you look at the running backs. Abram Smith is on the reserve list, and if you paid attention, you did a little research, you will find out that Abram Smith, who I would honestly argue was their best player last season, is out for the season with an ACL injury.
Ooh.
Which is, not what you want to see.
Blow.
So now for running backs, you're having to rely on Puka Williams, which I don't know how that's going to go, but best of luck to them in terms of trying to replace the production we saw from Abram Smith. Now, wide receiver-wise, definitely more... They did get some guys like, I know Kiki, who is, he was a former Texan. He was a former Texas Tech receiver. Actually did pretty well at Texas Tech, but obviously been a while. So, I mean, I could see him doing well if he gets some, get some chances. Kelvin Harmon, he was in the USFL last season, but outside of that, nothing to note. Along with Chris Rowland, Ty Scott, former receiver at Central Michigan and Missouri State. He did well at both those places, and he's only 25, so he could do well. But I think the big story with the receivers is that they did lose both Lucky Jackson and Chris Blair to the NFL. So those are definitely going to be some losses that the Defenders are definitely going to have to make up in terms of production. I mean, honestly, it's a very tight ends, or I know they got Ellis. They got Alex Ellis back for the most part, which is good for them. I mean, not much else to say in terms of tackles or defensive linemen. They did get TJ Barnes, who had 2 sacks last season for Arlington. I will say though, they do have Michael Joseph back, who had a great season for them. He had 4 interceptions for the Defenders last year. And they did get Trent Harris, who led the XFL in sacks last season. He had 9.5 sacks on the Roughneck. So that's a very nice addition for them. So the way I see it with DC Defenders, they're coming off a great season. Obviously, even if they didn't win the title, they're still coming off a great season. I think defensively, this team is stronger than last season. However, offensively, I don't see them being as good, even with Tayamu back. I don't see this offense as good without Abram Smith, unfortunately, which is damn shame because DC was very fun to watch last season, but overall, like, I still see them as a very good team, but I definitely feel it's not going to be as easy as last season in terms of, just going out there and going 9-1 in the regular season. Like, it's not going to be as easy as that, in my opinion, for the Defenders. But yeah, I think that sums it up well.
All right.
Well then. Oh, I do want to say one more thing. Luke, do you know who else the Stallions have on their roster?
Who else?
It's a kicker by the name of Chris Blewett. You may remember him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Chris
Chicago,
Chris
Chicago
Blewett.
training camp legend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who did I tell to double up on the Battlehawks?
I think me.
Okay.
One second, let me pull up my notes.
Is the law.
Call is law.
I'm just pulling up my notes real quick. Sorry. Alright. So, probably the most popular team in the new UFL, the St. Louis Battlehawks. I have my opinions about St. Louis and everything, but I will at least say this. I am happy that they have a football team back. And they did make the XFL postseason. Granted, I would have said they probably should have been the winner last year. Looking at you again, Arlington. But, the Battlehawks, great roster. Great all-around roster. Let's start at quarterback here real quick. A.J. McCarron. He's going to be the guy. He is going to, in my opinion, be the guy to win all the good quarterback trophies at the end of the year. You can say you're Jordan Tiamu's and you can say all of that, but A.J. McCarron, he is the guy. And of course, I would be renounced if I didn't at least say, apparently they didn't. I was going to say real quick, I totally remember them having some Western Illinois members on the team, but sometimes you're wrong. Regardless, they have a really good offense going into this season. Hakeem Butler from Iowa State, dude did not really work out in the NFL, but you're 6'6", 220. If you can find some guy to tap into that talent, you're going to be set. Darius Shepard, North Dakota State, another great wide receiver. And wide receiver isn't the only thing they're really good at. Wayne Gallman from the Giants, pretty good. They should help with that. It should help with that running attack over there. When it comes to the offensive line, Eric Magwood, Badal Alexander. Not a bad set. You also have Mike Panzuick and Donovan West for center as well. And going into the defense here, that's some nice guys: Cameron Kelly, Tim Harris, Chris Payton-Jones in the secondary. For D-tackle, Kobe Smith, Austin Faulu, Antoine Jackson, who, if I remember correctly, was also another former NFL member. Freedom Amin Amuladan, great name. But I think the main thing for the Battlehawks this year is that you have to tell yourself this is the time that we win and show that we're the team. Last year, got yourself stuck.
Got robbed. They got robbed because they didn't score
robbed.
enough
You can say
points.
that they were robbed all you want. Good teams overcome. Good teams overcome this type of stuff.
Yeah.
They were 7-3 last year. Sometimes stuff just happens.
Yeah. I have a
Oh,
question.
You know?
Jakur
Yeah.
Pearson is currently not listed in their depth chart.
What? No, I see him. He's on the roster.
I'm seeing
he's on the
two
roster.
different things. I do not see him.
I see him on the
listed.
roster.
I don't
I'm gonna search him up.
I do not see Jakur Pearson listed on the Battlehawks.
That's not good. Please.
It's Hakeem Butler, Darius Shepard, Blake Jansen, Jeff Thomas, Jamoris Bradley, Marshall Aitman, and Jerome Cap are currently.
Oh, he's injured.
Oh, he's injured?
Yep.
Oh,
Knee injury.
knee injury. Okay. That's
6 weeks out.
Oh fuck, that's basically the
Ah.
season. Oh,
No.
I
that
did want to say something real quick too. The biggest loss that the Battlehawks did endure is the matter of the fact that they no longer have Mr. Beast team to talk with on Twitter.
they still
And
do.
I think
The Panthers and the
not
Showboats
in-
are trying their
look.
hardest.
Look, they will look. The Memphis Showboat they'll never replace Mr. Beast team.
I know.
And honestly, I wouldn't put it as far to say, without the Vegas Vipers in there, like on the Twitter, beefing with them, I'm gonna say that might affect their play a little bit. Might have a repeat of last year.
We'll see.
But St. Louis Battlehawks should be a good team.
They should be. My best advice: run up the scoreboard every game. You never know.
They don't exist on Twitter anymore.
They don't.
Aw. They don't. No. Sad time, bro. Sad time. These are sad.
Yeah, they're
times.
still here.
They're still there.
They're still here.
Yeah, I see the Twitter account still Vegas Vipers. They still have 11,900 followers.
You just gotta click. Yeah, the Viper. Yeah, the
What's their tag? They're at.
XFL Vipers.
Yeah,
Ah,
XFL
thank you.
Vipers.
They are.
Okay, got
they're,
it.
They're still
Yeah, I put
here.
Las Vegas.
They're like even in February 7th they still were fucking they're still talking shit to the Vipers. They've changed their approach, but yeah, the Vipers are still catching strays, and JP Crawford just hit a home run. Thank God, thank fucking God.
Anyone know any jokes? St. Louis
Please.
Battlehawks, the XFL. Oh.
Yeah, they're still catching strays from.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still catching strays.
They will come back.
I
And
hope.
with the better
The
stadium,
question
I hope.
is, it might be, unless they're able to find quarterback talent. I think they might stay at 8. They might stick with 8 until there's enough talent to go around. Because even when we were doing a lot of watch-alongs, we did 2 of them. It was 2 of them back to back, and it was, high scoring games. It was back to back weeks. Let me quickly check.
Was it the Vipers game?
No, Vipers
No,
were
we were
Vipers
thinking
were. Oh, it was Renegades and Brahmas.
Uh-huh.
And let's check the final score of one of them. It was 12-10.
Oh, I remember that game.
It was the first one
That
was
was-
12-10. What an
Uh-huh.
exciting game! Second one was 15-9.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's. I hope with this, especially with now there's no longer 2 leagues, and we've had at least 3 years of where these guys have been at least able to settle in more. I'm hoping that it improves, the play improves, but that's. I do want them. As much as I would love to see 12, I want to see how they do with 8, and if there's enough talent level that graduates into the NFL, then I think 8 just might be a good number.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah. But yeah, Ja'Cory Pearson out, huge blow, right? Otherwise, they would have the best wide receiver core in the whole league. Like, how do you beat Shepard, Butler, and Pearson?
I told nobody. Did I tell anybody to do the Panthers yesterday? Or
Huh?
did I? Yeah, that's me. Okay. Well, Michigan Panthers. We are back with the Michigan Panthers, a team that once had legendary head coach John Fisher, and then they had a different coach. This coach was a lot better.
I mean, Jeff Fisher.
Jeff, whatever. He was bad. Jeff Fisher was bad. He was fucking garbage.
Oh boys, 4-6 incoming again. Maybe even 2-8.
Well, now.
What?
Trey Quinn, wide receiver, John Hightower in the wide receiver core, and they're going with EJ Perry as the main man under center. They look really, really good. They look good enough this year, especially with the dispersal drafts and everything. Danny Elting as their backup quarterback is good. It's probably one of the question marks of this team. Because another thing, I believe with Memphis, I just wanted to quickly check here for the Showboats. They do have a... Let's quickly see. Case they really did not post pictures of their... Damn! That is... Because one of the quarterbacks that I do want to note... Josh Love. I thought... He might be on a different team. Could be on a different team. Yeah, it's probably on a different team. But Josh Love will be... I thought Josh Love played for Michigan last year, but they didn't add him to the roster, so he's with Memphis. It was a duo between EJ Perry and also Josh Love. Both the big thing about the Panthers is I think they were really bad year one. Very unwatchable, especially when they had a former Michigan quarterback. What was his name? Before J.J. McCarthy and the other guy. I can't remember. I can't remember. But they were bad. They got a lot better with the new coaching staff. This is probably, if I had to pick any team, one of my sleeper teams. I'm looking at their depth chart for their game tomorrow. This is going to be really good showcasing for talent-wise. I think Michigan Panthers, they might have the second best team in the USFL division. But $1 million question, do they have enough? They have to get by a lot of very good teams. Especially in the dispersal draft, they added a lot of really good talented. Breland Speaks, incredible edge rusher. This dude dominated the defensive line and has been completely dominant. I am stunned he's not in the NFL yet. This guy, out of all players in the USFL, I kept thinking over and over to myself, why isn't Breland Speaks on an NFL roster? He is incredibly dominant in the in the linebacking and the even just pass rushing, getting the quarterback. He's really good at that. I expect him to have a huge season this year. And I think it's going to be mostly their pass rush that you're going to have to really watch out for Michigan. You're going to have to really watch out for this deadly pass rush that they have. And it's can, EJ Perry really do enough to bring this offensive group together? Are they going to have to do some soul searching for QB if he doesn't work out? Danny Elting is okay, but I'm not super thrilled. I think it's this end the Brahmas. I'm not super high on the quarterback rooms for. Those are just the only two that I'm not super high on, is Michigan's and this team's quarterback room. But I'm excited to see what they can do. I have more faith for Memphis's quarterback room. I think Memphis is really good. Arlington's is really talented. And the big part is, too, a lot of these teams are going to be deploying 2 quarterback systems. So we're going to see a lot of these guys playing. A lot of these guys are going to get a lot of really good reps. And a lot of critical reps, too. So that's something to really note. But Michigan, they one of my sleeper teams, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're dead last. Wouldn't be too surprising. But yeah, Michigan. Best of luck for them. 2 teams left.
Yep.
And Aiden, you're up with the Roughnecks.
So, you guys remember the Minnesota North Stars? You guys remember what happened in 1979? They basically absorbed the failing Cleveland Barons and became like a brand new team. Well, let me introduce you to the Houston Roughnecks, which were formerly the Houston Gamblers, but in the merger of the USFL and the XFL, actually merged with the Houston Roughnecks to become the new Houston Roughnecks. And unlike the Gamblers, they actually play in Houston. Now, to start off with the Roughnecks, let me just give you an update. Currently,
Aiden?
sorry. Currently, starting quarterback right now is Jared Guardantano, who has experience in the collegiate level with Tennessee and Washington.
Washington
Let me
State.
just verify real quick.
Washington State. They have his
Washington
college listed as Washington State.
Yeah, Washington State. So he is a bit of a journeyman-ish, never really stuck in the NFL, but is currently the starter for the Houston Roughnecks. Now, one thing to note about the Houston Roughnecks, based on their tendencies from last season as the Gamblers, they're primarily going to be a run-heavy team. And their main running back right now is Mark Thompson, who, by the way, led the USFL in rushing touchdowns last year. Who knows how he's going to do in the UFL, but he's going to be one guy to watch out for. So the wide receiver in Highland Core is going to be more of a wide receiver by committee style. There's no one guy who stands out as the primary number 1 receiver so far. So if you guys play UFL Fantasy, or SOL if you're stuck with a Roughnecks guy. Now for defense, there's one name in particular that sounds really familiar if you're a Niner fan like me. Y'all remember Reuben Foster? The guy who was really talented, but unfortunately had some demons and was replaced by Fred Warner. Well, he's a Roughneck now. So apparently my NFL team and my UFL team have a connection. Based on their odds, they are projected to be kind of mid, but who knows? This team has Super Bowl experience. And by Super Bowl experience, I mean both of their coaches have coached in the Super Bowl. Curtis Johnson, their head coach, was part of the staff of the 2010 New Orleans Saints, who, by the way, navigated their way to a Super Bowl win. So Curtis Johnson, back then he was the wide receiver coach. He was a wide receiver coach under Sean Payton. He coached guys like Marcus Colston, Robert Meehan, Lance Moore. So he's hoping that he could turn this wide receiver by committee into a solid core. But ironically, despite being a wide receivers coach, he runs a run-heavy offense. So we'll see about that. And their defensive coordinator also won the Super Bowl with the Eagles as a defensive line coach. Yeah, I'm sure you remember that Eagles defensive line that sack on Tom Brady. He was part of it, and I'll be honest, I have an affinity for defensive line coaches because I followed an NFL team with great defensive line. Anyways, so right now I expect the Roughnecks to be a very run heavy team. Some interesting phases of defense. They may be kind of mid, but who knows? They might surprise. They might surprise people. Roughnecks Nation, let's ride.
Very nice. I'm trying to see if there's one more depth chart that I'm trying to find, and that is San Antonio's. That is bullcrap. Oh well. It's the one I can't seem to find. Anyways, also you're up. Have fun.
What's my team again?
The Brahmas.
Alright, guys, y'all want to hear me? I have done no research on the Brahmas, but y'all are about to hear me yap. Like, I'm a professional yapper. Anyway, Brahmas, let's not lie. If we had one, at least, bad team in the league, it may be the Brahmas. When your best
Amen, brother.
when your best player is fucking destroying of all players, like that's literally he has to play quarterback at this point.
No, your quarterbacks are fine. Your quarterbacks are fine.
No.
Quentin Dormady is fine.
Quentin Dormand, he's not even starting. Chase Garber is just starting.
What?
Quentin Dormandy is mid. He's not
No, that's surprising.
Listen, I'll say I did some research for this just in case I wasn't able to do this. I just want to say regarding the quarterback room, Joe Flacco's brother is on this team.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
If anything, this is probably the most meme-worthy team there's gonna be.
I mean, on top, they do have one of the best tight ends in the league.
We do have Cody
Yeah.
Latimer, but I'll get to that. I'll get to that. So, Chase Garbers, Quinn Dormany, Tom Flacco. Could there be something here? Possibly, maybe. You have to hope that one of them. Just
Also,
emerges,
Landers
like,
is there.
spread. What?
It's not. They have pieces.
Yeah, wait. Yeah, I'm about to get to that. Running backs. Anthony McFarland is one of the best running backs out there. Like he's shown what he could do last year.
Former Steeler.
So, running back, yeah, like he has to carry this team, right? Unfortunately, our offensive line is still ass, so that's not gonna help. Right, Brasseline, also running back. No, I mean John Lovett could probably do something here, but other than that, like McFarland, if McFarland goes down, this team has no off. I don't get how they can do it. John Trey Kirkland, wide receiver. All right, yes, he's pretty decent. I think he's a good option here. If anything, despite John Trey Kirkland, T.J. Vasher, Marcus Stevenson, they're not good. Landon Akers, I have high hopes for Landon Akers. I think he will get better here. Cody Latimer, of course, best tight end in the league. And I don't know why the fuck we are hyping up Elise Mack. Like he's not good. He's not good. Like bro is the most overrated player like I've seen. But yeah, Landon Akers last year he was amazing, and I hope that he repeats kind of what he did last year, right? Especially like he had to play with like that quarterback room last year was horrible. Other than that, we know this defense. The strength of the team is the defense. Last year's defense was one of the best. But and they didn't lose a lot of pieces as well on that defense, so that's gonna be a huge thing. Zach McLeod is still here. Like it's all right. Like two decent wide receivers, one of the best tight ends in the game, one of the a really good uh running back, and then you have a questionable quarterback room and a dog shit O line.
Yeah, I just want to say
despite
regarding the
all
O
of that,
line, don't forget, Bears legend Rashad Coward is the most notable O lineman here.
yeah, it's
Uh-oh.
it's not gonna be like when you have Sam Tecklenburg. Okay, we're just not we're not even trying, right? We
What
know
is the
kick.
culture here? What is the culture here?
This is a defensive minded team with splash players
Mhm.
on offense. This is probably the Steelers, but watered down and just this is the Steelers, but just watered down. Except the O line is even worse than whatever the Steelers have ever had. Right? Your kicker is gonna have to do everything. He's gonna have to, of course, kick field goals, kick extra points, have to catch the ball, has to throw the ball, has to run the ball, has to literally run the social media account. Like he's throwing is gonna have to run this team because
No. You want to know what's funny? This is the Rock's team too. So like, Nick, this sets up to a really funny joke I just had. You want to know why the Rock's so pissed right now? It's not because
Why?
of Cody Rhodes. It's because the fucking Brahmas are shit.
True. I mean, if anything, the Brahmas, like last year, they're a team that couldn't do anything on offense. They were the one team that couldn't do it, even against like the Guardians or the Vipers. All the games when I watched the Brahmas were rough and were done at 2 times speed.
Yeah, you wanna know something funny? They had Kurt fucking Bankert go 30 for 23 completions, 37 attempts. Kurt Bankert, the guy that shit talks fucking Bears fans and thinks he knows football because he's played in the NFL, but doesn't.
Well, he played one
Like,
game and got
like
hurt.
he knows some. Yeah,
He
he
played.
knows
He
some.
played in the game where the Brahmas looked the best. He was their
Yeah,
quarterback, and he got hurt.
Which
like
really
this
sums
and
up the
that.
Brahmas last year.
Mhm.
Really sums it
Oh
up.
wait, Jack Cohn is gone though. Jack Cohn is gone.
Jack
We are
Combs.
free from that whole. We are
So
free from that
bad.
hell of whatever the fuck Jack Cohn was. Like that ass just like had 19 like when you see that someone has 19 sacks in 10 games, right, and then 6 TDs, 6 interceptions, like that's not good. All right, like not a good completion percentage, not a lot of
Mhm.
yards per attempt 5.8. Okay,
Oh, Jack
and when your
Cohn was
best
so hard to watch.
just just utter like this is just utter shit. And I hope this year the team can be much better. This year, like I hope, but Quinn and Dorm, like this quarterback room is still questionable, and I don't know what the fuck you do, right? That
Yeah.
I see them going 2-8. I literally see them dead last, and that's the thing. Either they go dead last, or they get 3 wins. You go 3-2, trade for a World
Who's their
Series.
head coach?
Wade
Um,
Phillips.
Oh. Yeah, that might be actually pretty huge, actually.
yeah. So either this team is either just gonna be absolute ass, or they really stick to the defensive minded team, play the run game, play it safe with Quinn and Dormandy, and we could see them as probably 6-4 and maybe playoff run. I don't think so. The XFL is stacked, but like we could see something here. But out of all the XFL teams, the Brahmas are the one we have the least hope about. This is just such a stacked conference. There's not much we can say.
Yeah.
Either way, I just
It's.
want to say regarding Quentin Dormady, when I was looking up stuff about him, I love on the Wikipedia, it talks about how he was accused of giving rival teams the Orlando Guardians playbook last season.
I remember
Yeah, I
that.
remember.
I remember that.
Yeah, yeah, I'm telling you, this is why this is such a questionable team. Like it's just not a real team. Come on, like
If the Las Vegas Vipers were the Mr. Beast team last year, then the San Antonio Brahmas will be the Mr. Beast team this year.
No, that
So-
title is to be given to a team that literally gives wins away, and the
yeah,
Vipers did
unless
that every single week, where the Guardians were just plain garbage, but watchable garbage.
I would like to say
I
instead of the Mr. Beast team, I feel like they should be the Goodwill of teams. Or
No,
like,
no, no, no.
no,
I
it,
had
it
a
has
better
it's the
one.
Mr. Beast because they give shit away. The last year,
No, no, no.
what? Although important note, the Houston Gamblers were the Mr. Bro team.
Yeah,
Important
say-
note.
I will say I do see the Brahmas. I do see the vision of the Brahmas and Battlehawks rivalry. That would be just insanely funny.
I
would
think
actually be a good
is
rivalry.
the game to watch.
Yeah, that is a game to watch. Just a really good defense against one of the best offenses we've seen.
Also,
in spring.
DC Defenders and the Stallions. I think that's going to be a really, really good game. I think those to me are the three teams that, even if you're just a football fan alone, are must watch. Stallions, Defenders, and the Battlehawks. Because out of all the teams, it looks like they have their stuff together. Maybe the Showboats. I'd have the Showboats at 4. Maybe the Showboats, but it's those three teams have their stuff together, and there's not many other teams.
I will say this: we will know how the season will go for the Brahmas depending on how they play against the Defenders week 1.
They play.
Offense,
They
defense.
play the Renegades. It is champion versus champion, which is a beautiful way to start the season.
What? I see here that they play the Defenders.
No, they don't play the Defenders till. Because week 1, it's Stallions and Renegades. Defenders
week
play
2?
the Brahmas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Brahmas.
Yeah. Never mind. But yeah, that's
So
our
the
that's our
Brahmas-
first that's the first watch along.
So yeah. So the Defenders. So the Defenders play. So the Defenders play the Brahmas. I feel like this game will show us what kind of team the Brahmas really are.
Yeah.
Like we're looking at it through paper right now. Like come on, we're looking at this through paper. We want to see what the product is.
I mean, I trust Wade
if-
Phillips. I think
if
Wade
he-
Phillips is a good coach. He did
Who
well
said
without a
that?
notable quarterback too.
Who said that?
I did. The big thing about the Roughnecks is last year they did very well without a notable quarterback.
Yeah.
And since
So,
now
at
he's
the end of the
coaching
day-
the Brahmas,
could
maybe.
be-
But yeah, like Ozzo said, we're gonna see a lot of these teams what their kind of identity is. But I really feel, especially since spring football, 10 weeks is really hard to gauge a lot of these players. Because CFL, they do 18 weeks. I'm surprised it's not a little bit longer. That's just me. But anyways, the UFL kicks their first season tomorrow. They are merging their rules together. I do believe they're using USFL kickoff. They're not using the XFL kickoff. They're using the USFL kickoff. I'm excited for drone shots. Are they doing no extra point kicks? Or do they?
I know. I think they are doing the conversions by throw.
Yeah.
Not bad. I'm fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Yankees win.
Anyways, we will be back on Sunday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, for the first watch along for the UFL If I'll be up tomorrow, if you guys want to do the cabana, I know I said no cabana, but if the games are like at before like 2 or 3, I can do it. The big challenge is, can I find a site for the games? Because I'm responsible for week 1, then Spencer's responsible for the rest of the season. So anyways, thank you guys for checking out our preview. Should be a fun season for the UFL. May this league last forever and in an eternity, and may we get more teams. I think them adding more teams would be a phenomenal sign. It would be an incredible sign. But anyways, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Thank you for watching, if you did watch a second of it. But until then, we'll see you guys on Sunday. And of course, have yourselves a damn good one.